future-proof businesses and communities. My name is Sholadoye Iwajomo, a lecturer here at the University of Lagos. So I will be your moderator for this program as we go on. On this call, we have students from both universities, the University of Lagos and the University of Birmingham, Singapore campus. And it promises to be an exciting meeting where we'll be learning from the students some of the outcomes of the projects that they have carried out in the course of this program. And so I want to welcome you once again and ask that you please be rapt attentive and be open to learning something new as we prepare our students for future relevant and future ready leadership skills that would help them in the future. And so we have the outline of our program on the screen, which shows details of what we'll be doing in the course of this meeting, running over the next 2 hours. I welcome you all once again. I have on this call the drivers of this project, Dr. Nana Bonsu and Dr. Temitope Shogbamu, and a host of many others whom we'll be introducing in the course of the program. We start off right away with just to reiterate again that this is a virtual meeting, a virtual mobility exchange program targeted at building students and bringing them up to speed with contemporary issues relating to environmental sustainability in the field of business, in the field of core environment, and also preparing them as leaders for the future in our respective countries and climes. And so I would just quickly ask that we move on just to quickly run through some of the things that we'll be doing in the course of this meeting, virtual engagement. We would soon be starting off with the opening remarks from different partners, the ACU, from the University of Birmingham, University of Lagos, Faculty of Life Science here in the University of Lagos, and also the Research Management Office of the University of Lagos. And shortly after that, we would take the project overview and activities over the course of time, and then we would have presentations from student groups. We have 5 groups, and each group would be making presentations for just 8 minutes, and we hope to keep to that time. After which we would have opportunities for questions and answers, and then participants can share their experiences, key takeaways, and proposed action plan. And the meeting would come to an end. So we would start off right away move on to the opening remarks at this point. And I would want to invite the representative of the ACU, the Senior Program Officer of the International Mobility Team, Jasmine Ashhot, to give opening remarks. Over to you, Jasmine.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. So my name is Jasmine Ashurst, and I am the Senior Programme Officer at the International Mobility Team here at the Association of Commonwealth Universities. So if you're not sure what the ACU is, it's actually the world's first and oldest international university network in the world, and is the only one accredited by the Commonwealth itself. So our aim is to bring universities together to share best practice, to collaborate on research and projects on shared issues, and we have over 400 universities in more than 40 countries in the Commonwealth. So in terms of my role in the International Mobility Team, I have a portfolio, my colleague and I have a portfolio, which includes the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarships and the ACU grants and fellowships. So the Virtual Mobility Grant, which is funding this work, is part of the ACU grants portfolio that I manage. So in terms of the QECS, they are fully funded scholarships for Commonwealth citizens to study for either a 1-year or 2-year master's in a low to middle income Commonwealth country elsewhere in the Commonwealth than their home country. So we actually have applications for the second cycle of the 2026-27 academic year currently open, and we have opportunities in Papua New Guinea as well as South Africa. So we have 2 funding cycles per year because of the different academic years throughout the Commonwealth. So we have these opportunities for individuals at any stage in their career. We have alumni who started their masters straight after their undergraduate degree, and we also have alumni who started their masters midway through their career to build on their professional skills. So yeah, in terms of the ACU grants then, we have a wide range of opportunities for which our member universities can apply. And our current applications that are open are for the gender grants, the ACU fellowships, the expert group grants, and the expert group fellowships. And the funding associated with the expert group grants, these are actually newly introduced for this year, and they're associated with the themes that are really pertinent for the Commonwealth at large. So that's health, oceans, and sustainable urbanisation. So what I'll do is I'll pop some links in the chat to our funding opportunities that are currently open, and you can also find out more information about the ACU from that point as well. I'd just like to extend my thanks to Dr. Shubhanu for inviting me, as well as Dr. Bonsu. It's great to see this work happening. I'm actually a University of Birmingham alumna myself.
That's great.
So it's really great to see this project come to life, not just from a professional point of view, but also from a personal one. So thank you very much for inviting me, and I'll pass over back to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yasmin, for that concise opening remark. Thank you for bringing us a word from the ACU, and we hope to have many more partnerships like this. And so we will move on to the next opening remark, which would come from the University of Birmingham. And I'd like to call upon Dr. Young In to give the opening remarks on behalf of the University of Birmingham.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, colleagues and students. My name is Yong Ling. I'm the head of the Department of Management in the Business School. And it is my great pleasure to join you today for this Virtual Mobility Exchange Program Dissemination event. And firstly, I would like to begin by thanking Nana and Tamitop for your leadership in bringing together these valuable collaborations between the University of Birmingham and then also the University of Lagos with the support of Association of Commonwealth Universities. I believe the University and University of Birmingham and the University of Lagos continue to strengthen partnerships in Nigeria through a shared commitment to high quality transnational education and collaborative research with both global relevance and a local impact. I believe this virtual mobility program marks a very important milestone in that partnership. And also it also reflects our broader missions at Birmingham Business School to embed responsible business at the core of education and also equip students with the capabilities needed to address complex sustainability challenges across diverse contexts. I think what makes this initiative particularly distinctive is its role in fostering genuine knowledge exchange between universities in the global north and the global south. So as I know, students have worked closely with Nana and Tamitop, developing analytic and collaborative skills. We're also building international networks that will support your future professional journeys. It is really encouraging to see students applying sustainability policy and the governance frameworks such as system thinking and the scenario development to address real-world environment challenge. I also would like to congratulate all the students involved. Your commitment, professionalism, and engagement are truly commendable. And I look forward to hearing more about your work and insights in today's presentation. Finally, we are grateful to the Association of Commonwealth Universities for supporting this important initiative. It clearly demonstrates the value of virtual mobility in enhancing global learning and also delivering meaningful policy relevant impact. I hope this event not only showcases your achievements, but also strengthens the ongoing partnerships between our two universities. And thank you, and I wish you all have a very successful and engaging session today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yongying Ling. Thank you for that wonderful remarks from the University of Birmingham. We move on again to remarks from the University of Lagos, our own university. And I'd like to ask that the head of Department of Zoology or the representative, I have not seen her on this call yet, but I think we would move on to the Dean of Life Sciences, Professor Yetibo. Okay, he will join shortly. Okay, we would gain some time. Let's I see that the director of the Research Management Office of the University of Lagos is on this call, and so we will take his remarks at this point in time. So I'd like to call on Professor Solomon Okunuga to please make his opening remarks at this point.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity given to me to be here. It's a privilege for me to be here. Let me just make some short remarks in this occasion. The Association of Commonwealth Universities, members of University of Lagos and University of Birmingham Management and Community, our dedicated virtual mobility exchange program coordinators at both ends, esteemed participants, it is a privilege to welcome every one of us to this dissemination meeting. The Research Management Office is proud to witness the formal dissemination of the ACU Virtual Mobility Exchange Program. This initiative is a landmark achievement for the University of Lagos, demonstrating our capacity to successfully execute complex, multi-departmental international programs. It's a clear testament in our institution's growing reputation as a hub for impactful research and global collaboration. I wish to especially commend our two coordinators, Dr. Temitope Shogbamu and Dr. Nana Bonsu, for their visionary leadership in bridging the gap between University of Lagos and University of Birmingham. By bringing together students from diverse disciplines, you have created a replicable model for virtual mobility. The data and insights emerging from this unique synergy will no doubt serve as a valuable resource for future research and policy development. So as we gather together to share results and experiences in this meeting, it is important to reflect on the sustainability, how we can build on these achievements, strengthen networks, and attract further opportunities for collaboration, research, and capacity development. I want to congratulate our sponsors, the funder, the ACU, all partners and participants for the successful program, and I want to encourage us to continue the engagement beyond this phase. Thank you very much, and I wish us all a fruitful and inspiring session. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Professor Solomon Okunoga, like I mentioned, is the director of the Research Management Office, the office that drives collaboration, drives research management within the University of Lagos. And they have also been critical to bringing this partnership to light as we have it today. And so at this point, while we hope that other personalities who are to give their remarks would join soon, but we would move on to an overview of the project from its inception. So a project overview and activities from its inception till date. And that would be taken by Dr. Nana Bonsu and Dr. Temitope Shugbamu. Over to you. Don't know who would start.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind starting. Okay. Yeah, so thanks very much, and then good morning, everyone. My name is Nana Bonsu, an assistant professor at the University of Birmingham Business School. So it's a real pleasure to welcome you all today, particularly our students, our funders, and then the distinguished colleagues from both universities. So today, this ACU-funded virtual mobility project, I will say that first of its kind in global education on sustainability, brings students and academics from both universities to address real-world environmental and sustainability challenges through international collaboration. I will say that the initiative is rooted in a shared kind of commitment to responsible business, sustainability governance, and equitable global partnerships. Through structural virtual exchange, students work across institutions to apply policy and governance frameworks, looking at systems thinking and scenario development to address complex and often wicked environmental sustainability challenges across diverse contexts. So what we could see today is that the insights were generated using participatory and creative methods, including storytelling and photo voice as part of the data collection and analysis process. Looking at beyond the technical skills, the project placed strong emphasis on mutual learning, intercultural collaboration, and knowledge exchange between the global north and then the global south. Students develop analytical, professional, and collaborative capabilities whilst engaging with issues that matter directly to policy, practice, and sustainable development. So what you glean today is that today's dissemination event showcases these students' outputs, and it reflects on how virtual mobility can deliver high-quality transnational education, building institutional capacity, and then generating meaningful impact-oriented learning experiences to support businesses and communities. So please take back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful case studies presentations from our lovely students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nana, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're joining us from. We particularly recognize our Singapore participants who is now evening at their location. Just following on immediately after Nana, I'm going to be sharing about the activities that we have done so far. Like you've probably heard from Jasmine and from Nana, this project started sometime in December with an inception meeting. But before then, we had put out a call for undergraduate students, particularly final year and year 2 students from the University of Lagos and the University of Birmingham Business School, respectively, to apply for the program, and we're able to shortlist about 40 of them across the two institutions, based on their motivation for being part of this inaugural program. And following that, we had pre-training evaluations to understand the knowledge that the students had about environmental sustainability. Just to reiterate that this virtual mobility is focused on reimagining integrated environmental sustainability to future-proof businesses and communities. So it's more highly interdisciplinary training program, but also transnational, because we were working with students from the global north and the global south. And this is just a snapshot of the categories of interest that the first cohort of participants, the 40 of them, indicated interest in. And so we use this interest that they have to develop the training models that we used to train them in January, and I will share that in a bit. Not the training model itself, but what we were able to achieve over that time course. We were also interested because our focus was on training the participants to reimagine integrating environmental sustainability in either businesses or communities. But we also opted for them to indicate if they wanted to navigate at the nexus of both. And as you would see that we had quite a number of them. In fact, over 75% of them wanted to work at both nexus of both businesses and communities. And in terms of sectors as well, they had a diversity of sectors that they wanted to do their case studies in. And as you will listen to the case studies in a few minutes, you will see that their case studies aligned with the sectors that they had indicated that they wanted to do their projects in, for both businesses, but also for the types of communities across the global north and global south. And so this is just a timeline of, the activities that we have done so far. I must say it has been quite intensive, and you will hear feedback from the students after their presentation, or should I say from the participants. It's been quite intensive for us, the coordinators, the program assistant, but also for the students as well, right from the inception meeting in December up till now that we're having the dissemination meeting. So we must let you know that for all the students that have scaled to this stage, and we can let you know that 100% of them were able to scale through all of these different activities till this stage. So that's a big applause really for the participants, and we really congratulate them. So we've had this program, like I said, from December. We had pre-training assessment. We did the intensive participant training. And we did them over the weekends because we also did not want this program to interface significantly with the core curriculum or courses of the students. Like we mentioned, the University of Lagos students are currently in final year, and then the Birmingham students are in year 2. In fact, some of the Birmingham students are actually currently doing their internships. For you to know how they were able to juggle such an intensive program with their core curriculum or coursework. And the final year students at the University of Lagos were also juggling this with final year, first semester exams and their projects. And so following their training, we did a mid-training assessment, and then we kicked off with their project implementation, which was really for a course of 8 weeks. And we had a project check-in with them just to see how they were faring in terms of applying the skills and knowledge that we had trained them with in January. And we are now here at the dissemination meeting, following which we will have a post-training assessment for them, and we will issue them their certificates of completion and participation. Just to look at where we were at the beginning and during the mid-training evaluations, and we could see that the students also indicated the type of skills that they wanted to achieve and how far they've been able to apply or achieve that in the course of their training and of course in their projects. Again, you will be able to assess by yourselves if you feel that the participants had actually developed the skills in terms of sustainability analysis, teamwork and collaboration, leadership, problem solving, communication and presentation skills. And so at this point, I will end the presentation. Myself and Nana will come back following the students, the participants' presentation to give additional feedback. What we would also like to hear from you, our guests, our audience, our funders, partners, universities, management, to be able to give feedback to the students' presentations as well. Today is actually focused on the student. And we are really so proud of them, Nana and I, that they've really moved from a place of some time, very little knowledge about this type of integrated work to, owning this. We're also hoping that we have captains of industry here. We've tried to reach out to several relevant industries and communities based on the students' case studies that they pre-selected by themselves. And who knows, some of them may actually be taken up as consultants following this training, or even employed to implement some of these future scenarios that they will be sharing with us. At this point, I will take a bow and over to you, Dr. Iwajomo, to moderate the presentations. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Shobamu. Thank you, Dr. Nana Bonsu, for giving us an overview of the project from inception till now. And we're quite excited to hear from the students and to see what they have learned. And also, we're open, I'm sure, like myself, that we're open to learning also from the students, gleaning from their experiences to apply even in our own spheres of endeavor. All right, so we have the Dean of the Faculty of Life Science here on this call. We had called upon him earlier, but he had some engagements which made it impossible for him to join at that point in time. So I would yield the floor to Professor Ganiu Oyetibo, who would give his brief remarks, opening remarks, even before we move on to the students' presentation. Professor Oyetibo, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Wajomo. I really appreciate this invite to give opening remark on this webinar. And I really appreciate the organizers. That's Dr. Shobamu. And I must commend the good work you are doing in the Faculty of Life Sciences, University of Lagos. Good morning, esteemed colleagues, the program coordinators, stakeholders, and our exceptional participants of this ACU EMEP training. It is both an honor and a privilege to deliver the opening remarks at this important dissemination meeting. Today, our gathering is more than a formal event. And of course, it is a celebration of what happens when we break down departments' silos and embrace interdisciplinary collaborations. And that is where the science is going globally presently. In the Faculty of Life Sciences, we are not simply training botanists, microbiologists, or zoologists, or even marine sciences or whatsoever. We are nurturing global citizens who can navigate the complex intersections of sustainability, science, as well as international commerce. And the initiatives such as the ACU VMEP program align strongly with our vision of fostering innovation and interdisciplinary collaboration and global engagement as well. The program exemplifies the power of partnerships in higher education, bringing together diverse perspectives to create solutions and enhance employability, research capacity, and knowledge transfer. As we listen to the presentations and discussions today, I encourage all participants to actively engage, share insights, consider how the outcomes of this project can be scaled, sustained, and translated into policy and practice. And of course, I have confidence that transmuting whatsoever discourse and evidences we might have got from this project into a policy and practice is the strength of Dr. Strugbamu, and I want to believe by extension to his to our foreign collaborations. I commend all partners, funders, coordinators, and contributors for their dedication and impact. And your collective efforts have created a platform that demonstrates the value of collaboration in shaping a more sustainable and interconnected world. I look forward to the rich dialogue ahead and the continued success of initiatives like ACU, VMEP. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Professor Yetibo. Thank you for your remarks, and thank you for joining us even despite your schedule. At this point, since we still have a little bit more time, I just want to acknowledge Professor Sowemimo, Abimbola Sowemimo, who is the Director of the Office of Global Engagement and Strategic Partnership. She's here with us on this call. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Sowemimo. We would now move on to the presentations, and like we had mentioned, our presenters have 8 minutes to make their presentations, and we have 5 groups. So we have group 1, 2, 3, up to 5. And these groups have been so created in such a manner that we have a rich diversity within each group. And that is also to foster cross-collaboration amongst our students, and also to ensure that ideas, partnerships, and networking are established even through this program. And so we would start off. I would be the timekeeper, and I expect that every group would keep to the time. So please, group members and group representatives, be on time. Let's be mindful of time so that we can make adequate use of this opportunity. And so I would like to call on the representative for Group 1, who will be making the presentation. Like we have been told, you have the opportunity to share your slides in the course of this. Over to you, Group 1. And while we wait for it, yes, your time starts. You have to unmute.
Good day, distinguished guests, respective leaders, and everyone present here today. So it's a privilege to be here with you as we begin this important conversation on healthcare systems and their impact on our society. So in Nigeria, we continue to see effort, growth, and dedication within the healthcare sector, but yet there are still noticeable gaps in accessibility, efficiency, and the growth strategy. So on the other hand, countries like Singapore have developed systems that are widely recognized for their structure and effectiveness. So this discussion, Bridging the Gap, is not just about comparison, but about creating a space to reflect, learn, and also explore practical ways to strengthen healthcare system in our country. So here in Nigeria, our healthcare system is a mix of both public and private services, with a large number of the population depending on public healthcare systems. Next slide, please. So according to Lawani Eze, in the year 2025, we established the fact that 70% of Nigerians pay out of their pockets for healthcare, which gives us to the increase that greater than 80% of medical professionals working in Nigeria has expressed their desire to leave the country, signifying brain drain, which we all know as the Jackpot syndrome, according to Samuel and Aruna in the year 2025. So our project focuses mostly on SDG 1, 3, 5, 6, 10, 12, and 16. And we came up with different issues to identify this as business per usual, ranging from the limited access to healthcare, which was established by Omar Salihu and Azuni in the year 2025, and also Adeloye in the year 2024. And we talked about how the country struggles with shortage of healthcare facilities that leads to inadequate infrastructure and sufficient medical personnel. Then moving on to the infectious disease that brought to a breakdown of cholera and major cities like Lagos and Kaduna, which leads us to the increase in the impede of economic growth. And then we talk about the misuse of healthcare resources, which means that those funds that were meant for the healthcare delivery were either misused or diverted into different functions. Next slide, please. Then we also talked about our stakeholder identification, where we have the influence and the support between different responsibilities, the healthcare system, the NGOs, and the local community leaders. Next slide, please. And we also brought up the STEEP matrix planning, which means at the end of this program, we gain to achieve many recognition from the social aspect, technological, environmental, economic, ethical, and political aspects. And this time frame is being diverted into different segments, creating and making sure there is an ethics and popular affordable healthcare costs, efficiencies of healthcare funds, and also leading to economic and increase in the growth of the country. So I'll leave it to my to Jane to continue from here.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Just to confirm.
Loud and clear.
Hi, yes, okay, thank you. So this is our vision for 2040 based on our backcasting, which I'll show you later on. So a desirable future by 2040, Nigeria achieves a resilient, equitable, and sustainable healthcare system that provides affordable and accessible healthcare for all citizens through strong governance, advanced medical technology, efficient disease prevention, and transparent healthcare management. So on that, we did backcasting taught by Nana Bonsu. So for our desired future, moving back on our current state 2060, this is to ensure that we build a strong foundation and work towards our goal. So we also conducted a survey to better understand the situation by involving stakeholders directly and hearing from them. This is the demographic of our respondents. We have 12 Singaporean respondents and 18 Nigerian respondents. As you can see, majority of our respondents are students. And based on the responses, we can see that they visit clinic or hospital at least once a month, indicating the importance of healthcare as welfare. So we can see a distinguished difference in the time traveling for their healthcare needs. In Singapore, it averaged from 10 to 15 minutes, while in Nigeria, it could be 10 minutes to an hour long. And we also try to understand on their situation what's the most challenging of their healthcare experience. So there are similarities such as long waiting time and also concern for the cost of healthcare. But as you can see on the Nigerian end, behavior of medical professionals, infrastructures, and not accessible due to distance are more problems that has to be answered. And I will just briefly go through the insights because there's quite a lot of questions, but we can always deep dive in when you are interested to find out more about this. So I will go to the concluding insights. We based on the distance, challenges, benefits, and opportunities. So opportunities are derived through the challenges so that we can include them in the envisioning for the 2040. Moving on, we are doing our photo voices here. So on the left, you can see the hospital wards in Singapore. The particular photo that taken is a Class C ward, which is done by my friend who is in the nursing department here. So Joy will share about her side.
In Nigeria, this is a picture of what our hospital wards looks like, and the photo credit was gotten by Abiodun from the AI category.
Hi, Joy.
And also we have our entrance and patient journey, because this is where patients has to get to where registrations and movements are being taken to make sure overcrowding is reduced and also limit infection risk among the healthcare system.
So everything in Singapore hospital will be equipped with sensor tabs, soap, and tissue paper, alongside with paddle beans to prevent cross-contamination. There are also posters to encourage proper hand wash for personal hygiene.
And also we have accessible washrooms and hand washing points so that it is easily accessible by everybody. And this helps because clean water and effective hand hygiene is required to reduce the spread of infection and also for the overall patient outcomes. And we also have the waiting area where patients has to sit before receiving care so that crowding and distancing can be reduced.
Each ward is equipped with mobile desktops in Singapore here for nurses to do medication registration, as well as doctors to access patients' medical records or any updates. This will ease the handover of shifts and allow communication to be seamless.
So each ward are also equipped here with few mobile computer systems that allow nurses and also doctors to record medications and patient updates, while doctors can easily access medical records in
Joy, you're on mute.
Good.
Okay, then sorry, we also have different ways to get energy through generator, solar, or meter.
So every medical professionals working in Singapore's hospital will be trained to dispose waste accordingly, so they are labeled and color-coded for easy identification and proper waste management.
And here in Nigeria also, we have different waste bins that are segregated to handle pollution, healthcare settings, and also to prevent the risk of infections.
So we have advanced technological equipment such as the Pomotic Artima to hygienically dispose human waste and disposable pulp items to allow waste management to be easier and control any infection outbreak in the hospital. Health Hub is a digital platform that is available for all Singaporeans, which is very accessible for us that we just have to log in through our national login platform, and it interfaces with medical health record system across various public healthcare institutions and national source systems.
And here in Nigeria, we also have the Health Hub app, which helps to connect patient record across different hospitals and also to make sure each resident have access to their medical information, helping them to take control of their health.
Teleconsult is for patients to consult a doctor in the comfort of their own home or a location where privacy is assured.
Then down to the procurement or evidence room, this is where drugs are being stored, supplies, and all of the packaging that are needed. And this is required to make sure there is sustainability to reduce the waste and also ensure responsible sourcing of medical supplies in the country.
Group 1, you
So
have
home
just
medic.
4 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So Home Medical is available for elderlies with mobility issues that offer 24/7 on-demand services, and they do consultation, medication, or even vaccinations.
And as we wrap up on this segment, we have community outreach where community members can go on to seek medical advice in case where there is limited access to hospitals and also to promote equal and sustainable healthcare delivery.
So this is our reimagined AI-generated desirable scenario with accessible healthcare in rural areas, mobile clinic roaming through the rural areas, health facilities with advanced technology and accessible infrastructures, hospital being equipped with advanced technology and equipment, as you can see here in the different labs, and proper waste disposal implemented in all hospitals and clinics based on the feedback we gain from our surveys. And that's all for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Group 1. Thank you for stopping just right on time. All right, so we would move on to Group 2 at this point in time. So Group 2 representatives, the floor is yours. I would start the time as soon as your presentation comes on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay.
Okay.
Can you put your presentation on presentation mode? So it's
Oh, yes.
great.
All right. Give me a
Thanks.
moment.
All right, your time starts now.
Oh, sorry. Give me a moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to get my scripts up. Sorry.
All right, so I'll give you 30 seconds.
Yeah.
For the subsequent groups, please make sure you're ready so that we can make good use of our time. Just get your acts together and whatever you need to put in place. All right, are you ready now?
Okay. Yeah, if I put in the presentation mode, give me a moment. My scripts will be gone. So
Okay.
yeah, let me see what I can do. Now it's like like window, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, do you know what would happen? Can we take group 3 while you try to sort this out?
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Okay, so let's have group 3 while group 2 prepares to come up afterwards. So you can stop sharing.
Okay, sure.
So group 3, you can use this time. So representatives of group 3, please come up. Who are the representatives of group 3? Okay. Okay, I think you're sharing something else. Deborah, you're sharing something else. Is there any other person in group 3 who wants? I see Boluwatife Moni, group 3, who is presenting on your behalf.
I will be presenting, sir, but Debbie is to share.
Okay. If group 3 is not ready, can we move on to group 4 so we can come back? Okay, so it seems. Okay, so you might have to I can see that you're projecting my face also along with your presentation, so let's take that. Yeah, you could close the Zoom video that is showing, or just minimize it. All right, group 3. Start timing you now. Please unmute.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Boluwatife Omoni, and today Group 3 will be presenting our analysis of Shell PSA through the lens of integrated environmental sustainability, and will be guided by these outlines. Next slide. Our two focus countries are Singapore and Nigeria, and we're looking at their business as usual in both countries. So Shell Singapore operations are creating 3 serious environmental problems. There was an actual oil spill in October 2024, and 30 to 40 tons were leaked from the Pulau Bokum pipeline, and there's also the problem of climate change and gaseous emissions. On the social side of their BAU, we're looking at the direct impact on people. Next slide. Air pollution affects health, and the spill meant that the public could not use water. The air emissions are linked to respiratory and cardiovascular diseases, and the community closest to these facilities are the ones that are absorbing the most harm. For Nigeria, the Nigerian BAU environmental is a different story. The 2008 Bodo spill contaminated an entire ecosystem, and Amnesty International was still documenting the damage in 2025, that is 17 years later. Gas flaring is also another major issue in Nigeria. On the social side, after the Bodo spill, UNEP found benzene in community drinking water at levels that are far above what is considered safe. Gas flaring is destroying crops through acid rain, causing respiratory illness, and the communities that simply do not have the resources to this community, they don't have the resources to absorb those kind of shocks. Next, I'll be talking about our 2x2 matrix. Next slide. I don't know if you can see the slide. So our 2x2 matrix maps out 4 possible futures. The best case, which is what we are working towards, is the net zero operations, restored ecosystems, and strong governance in both countries. And the worst case is revenue collapse, ecosystem failure, institutions in crisis. Everything we are proposing basically is designed to push Shell towards that top left quadrant and away from the bottom right. And to understand how we get there, we use backcast. Next slide. So I'll summarize our backcasting. Our backcasting is simple. We start from 2050 and work backwards. So we start our 2050 goal and work backwards. By then, we want zero emissions, no spills, a circular economy. And so by 2030, the focus is starting small, testing circular systems, and cutting down emissions. Next slide. So I'll be moving to our strategic framework, and we have 4 pillars under our strategic framework. And pillar 1 focuses on protecting water and ecosystem through leak detection using sensors, predictive tools, and automatic shutoffs to stop spills even before they happen, because prevention is cheaper than cleanup. Thank you. So I would hand over to the next presenter now.
Who is continuing the presentation for group 3?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good morning. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so diving into our strategic framework, we divided our strategic framework into 4 major pillars, which are the first one is water and ecosystem. So we look at how all spills contribute to environmental damage, and the idea is pretty simple. So instead of waiting for spills to happen, we are focusing on detecting them early and reducing the impacts. So we use things like real-time leak detection and also better cleanup methods like bioremediation. Next slide, please.
You're muted. We can't hear you anymore, Idabola. You're still muted, so you have to unmute. Your group has just 2 minutes to go. Bolu, I think you can assist if she's having difficulties. You can assist and take over so that you can save your time that's left.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I'm so sorry about that. So secondly, we're looking at the clean air transition, which is focusing on air pollution. So this basically involves reducing emissions like sulfur dioxide, which is also doing something more useful with gas flaring. So basically, we're turning waste gas into fuel instead of just burning it. So that way, we are reducing air pollution and also um contributing to the economic value. So thirdly, we're looking at the climate alignment. So here we look at things like carbon rupture, renewable energy, and even AI, especially AI, because it helps predict problems before they happen. So we are focusing on a more preventive action instead of a reactive one. And then our fourth pillar is the mutual learning pillar, which is basically focused on communities. So we're looking at working alongside people, especially in Nigeria, to involve them in monitoring and decision making. Because to be realistic, if communities don't trust the company, there's no way any of these things that they plan to implement would work. So these technical solutions will fail if there is no partnership or hand-in-hand working with the communities. So looking a little bit at our robustness testing, please next slide.
You have less than a minute.
Well, I'm basically just testing how realistic the strategies can be. So we looked at them from different time frames, which are 2030, 2040, and 2050. And then we'll consider challenges like the cost, the technical limitations, and even community acceptance. But at the same time, there are clear benefits like faster responses to spills, lower emissions, and even better relationships with stakeholders. So I've been handing over to Debbie to talk a little more about robustness testing and take us through the rest of our presentation. Thank you.
You have exhausted your time. Your 8 minutes is, but I can give you 1 minute to just draw the conclusions. So that can be done within 1 minute. Otherwise, we're moving to the next group.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very quickly and in less than 1 minute.
Okay.
So just
I'll be talking about the last part, which has to do with our systems thinking. I'm sorry, I can't project and speak at the same time. Bolo, can you help me with this slide? So our systems thinking map basically has to do with how all of this will come together to work, where we have a map that displays how shell management activities brings about oil spill risk, which then leads to air pollution and marine pollution. And if care is not, if there is no effective remediation processes, it can lead to long-term communication
all right,
contamination.
Deborah, we need to stop you here. Thank you, group 3. We would stop you here to the next group, giving you more than enough time. So please, we'll move on to group. Is group 2 ready now?
Yes.
Okay, so we can have your presentation now.
Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. So good morning and good afternoon to everyone here. And I am group 2 representing. So we are doing the future of agriculture, integrating environmental sustainability into supply chain governance. So this presentation addresses soil degradation in Olam Group's operations with photo, voice, and backcasting method. So what we can see here is the future vision, the current reality, and core question put out by Olam Group and the soil degradation in general. So we want a world where agribusiness operates in total harmony with the earth, and we want we can see that operations in Gabon, Indonesia, and Nigeria show soil organic carbon loss and peatland erosion. And the core question is it possible for a monoculture giant to be truly ESG compliant, or the forest definitions being used to justify the degradation? So for the research scope and stakeholders, we have geographic focus of Nigeria, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Thailand. So the stakeholders we have are holder farmers, agri, procurement, sustainability teams, government regulators, and civil society. So what is Olam Agri? Olam Agri is a leading global agribusiness that supplies food, feed, and fiber. Yeah, and the timeline we want to see is from 2026 to 2030 to 2035. And uh, let's provide the global and regional context for you. So the global crisis now is that the 33% of soils globally are moderately to highly degraded due to poor land management. And sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia is that soil fertility decline is the primary productivity constraint, and peatland drainage in Southeast Asia accelerates carbon oxide release and subsidence. And the Olam's role is that it is very ineffective, depending on supplier level compliance and institutional alignment across 7 Southeast Asia provinces. And so we have a business as usual versus a scenario analysis here. So the dimension we have is soil health, climate, livelihood, and governance. So business as usual, we can see that if it operates as it now operates, we have the declining to 0.5 to 1% per year. Peat oxidation continues. Land use emissions dominate. The income mortality becomes very high. The soil KPIs are missing. And the 2030 acceleration is that basically digital traceability covers 90% and it can improve quite a lot. And the 2035 regenerative target is just that independent real-time SOC audits are actually available for them to see. And now we can move on to the 4x4 step analysis. So we have Nigeria, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Vietnam. So we can see here the social part is that Nigeria, we have tensions over land access in Nigeria, and technological part is that we are really having very low digital literacy in Nigeria. Economic wise, we have in Indonesia investor ESG pressure slowly changes incentives, and environmental wise we have peat oxidation, fire induced soil loss for Indonesia, and political wise we have provincial forests in very inconsistently applied uh, moratoriums in Indonesia. And then we can see here the photo voice. The impact of monoculture is very devastating. It is here showing Congo Gabon. So the forest clearance for oil palm in Congo Gabon is highlighting biodiversity loss. So the voiceover is an orange scar of exposed earth cutting through a deep green forest. There's nowhere left for the earth to breathe. And now we see the same thing in central Kalimantan, Indonesia. So the context is drainage of peat swamp forest for oil palm in central Kalimantan, Indonesia. So this practice exposes vast carbon stores to oxidation and accelerates soil subsidence and erosion. And so as it degrades, their children's future degrades too. And moving on to the solution, number one we have is the farmer livelihood
Good
and
morning,
just
everyone. My
transition.
name is Ayoluwanite Mikhayobu.
Yeah.
I'll be going over the solution from Group 2. We have
Yes.
3 solutions. The first one is farmer livelihood and just transition, linked to SDG 15.2. When Olam asks smallholder farmers to transition how they farm, these farmers risk losing their income during the transition. So this solution prefers that agribusinesses share their financial risk with these farmers to help in long-term fair pricing for income stability. The second solution is technical soil restoration and is linked to SDG 15.3. It involves physically fixing the soil, replacing chemical fertilizers with composting, restoring microbes and carbon that monoculture destroys. The third solution is integrated governance and is linked to SDG 6.4 and 15.5. It just tells us that accountability, good practices without accountability mean nothing. So there must be independent audit and there must be rewards for suppliers who meet the targets. Please move to the next slide. Moving over to backcasting. Backcasting is starting from the future you want and moving backwards. By 2035, Olam should have been fully regenerated in their supply chain. There should also be about 30% increase in soil carbon. By 2030, there should be at least 70% of the farms transitioned and satellite monitoring should be in operations. By 2027, soil KPIs should be included in ESG frameworks and biofertilizers should be scaled. And 2026 right now, where we are is that pilot monitoring projects are active, but we are still under business as usual. Moving over to strategic risks. After stress testing this plan, some risks worth highlighting are that in 2027, for Olam, there is a predicted risk where companies will selectively report progress on lands that are easy and they leave lands that are degraded. And also by 2035, there is predicted to be audit fatigue and climate volatility, including extreme drought and flooding, and this can undo the restoration plans faster than they were built. So Olam has 3 things to do. We encourage strict independent governance across the entire supply chain, real soil equity, and real soil regeneration and community equity. In conclusion, the degradation of the soil is the degradation of collective food security. The choice is clear. We should act now on evidence-based SDG-aligned governance, or we inherit a barren, smoky future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Group 2. You have just kept right on time, spent exactly 8 minutes. Well done. We move on to Group 4 now. Group 4, can we have your presentation? Representatives, please share your screen.
Okay.
Can you put it on? Oh, great.
Okay.
All right, your time starts now.
Good day, everyone. I am Ibatari Ivory, and I am presenting for Group 4. Our presentation today moves beyond simple waste collection to a broader strategy of economic integration. We are here to show you how Nestle Nigeria can bridge the gap between high-level corporate sustainability and the everyday realities of the Nigerian market. By aligning with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, we present a pathway forward towards building a waste-free Nigeria by 2035. Next slide, please. Outline. So I'll be walking you through the problem, the reality on ground, our analysis, and finally our proposed solution and future scenarios. Next slide, please. So I'm going to give you a backstory on it. In Lagos, we have high volume of sachet products like Milo, Maggi, and Nescafe, and they move through a complex system that combines both formal and informal sectors and structures. At the center of this system, we have 2 key stakeholders. We have the market retailers and the informal waste pickers. These 2 groups, they interact at different stages, but then they are connected through the flow of waste. Next, please. So from our field research through interviews, we've identified a critical gap that prevents a circular or an effective circular economy here in Nigeria. We interviewed traders who exist in these spaces to hear their thoughts and how we can find a solution to their issues. So the first trader explained that she burns sachet waste because there are no proper disposal options, which in turn leads to health implications such as eye irritation and other problems. Then another trader also highlighted that these waste block the drainage system and they lead to stagnant water, increasing the risk of malaria as well as other diseases. Importantly, we have informal waste pickers. These are people who help us to recover waste, but they often ignore sachets because they have little to no resale value, unlike the PET bottles or aluminum, which is from cans. So the problem, our data provides clear evidence. Next. Our data provides clear evidence that there is a problem. Nigeria consumes over 2.5 billion liters of sachet packaged products annually. In Lagos alone, we have over 13,000 tons of waste that are generated daily, with sachets forming a large portion of the visible litter. At the same time, about 60% of the households lack formal waste collection system. This is what leads to what we call environmental leakage, where these wastes end up in streets, gutters, alleyways, and everywhere else. As we see in the picture, it's an example of what the waste problem looks like. Next, please. So the 2026 milestone. In 2026, Nestle Nigeria achieved 100% plastic neutrality. This means that the company now recovers and recycles the same amount of plastic it introduces to the market. This is a very significant milestone and shows how strong their commitment is to sustainability. However, achieving neutrality is only the first step. The real challenge is scaling this impact across systems. To scale this progress, we are going to look at Nestle Singapore as a global benchmark. Next slide, please. So Nestle Singapore operates a system built on strict policy alignment, resource efficiency, and strong accountability. Their approach integrates global sustainability policies with national frameworks like the Singapore Green Plan. Their goal is very clear, which is achieving a near zero environmental impact across their operations. This means they are going to make sure that in their production process, it has little to no environmental impact. So Nestle Singapore has achieved strong results through a systems approach. They've reached plastic neutrality in 2025. They've redesigned their packaging to improve recyclability and reduce emissions significantly. For example, they've replaced plastic straws with paper alternatives and now they're transitioned into mono packaging materials, which are very easy to recycle. They also operate on 100% renewable electricity and actively engage communities in sustainability education. I would hand over to my colleague Jada now to continue.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adeyemi Jada. Just to confirm that everyone can hear me.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So to move beyond our 2026 milestone, we looked towards the global gold standard, which is Nestle Singapore. And while Nigeria is currently market-driven, Singapore operates a mature, policy-led circular ecosystem, and their model is defined by zero-impact mandates and strict compliance with the National Environmental Agency, the NEA. And they have already transitioned to 87.5% of their packaging to be recyclable, which is a very huge feat. And with a clear focus on eliminating problematic multi-layer plastics in favor of monomaterials, as seen in the recent Milo paper pouch design, which they also have formulated. And this is the level of systemic circularity that we are aiming to integrate into the Nigerian market. Here we have an image of the Milo van at an event. And our strategy for Nigeria, next slide please, is built on 3 pillars adapted from the Singaporean standard. First, digital education using their 1-2-3 recycle framework, which is an app that teaches Singaporeans, well, developed by Nestle Singapore, that teaches Singaporeans how to recycle effectively and how to separate different types of like plastics from glass and metals to recycle effectively. And this framework, we want to implement that to help Nigerian consumers identify recyclable monomaterials at the point of disposal. And second, which turns incineration ash into road material as the technical proof of our own green brick economy, which we will look at as we move on. And finally, policy accountability, aligning local operations with Singapore packaging agreements to ensure that our corporate responsibility matches international zero waste standards. Next slide, please. Okay, now we have our steep evaluation.
30 seconds to round up, please.
Okay, so maybe let's just move to our 2035 scenarios where we mapped our 4 potential features. First of futures, rather, we have the refill revolution, which is our vision for upstream decoupling, aligning with SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. We propose sachet as a service through solar-powered refill kiosks. Here in the image, we have an AI-generated image of how we picture that future to be, and we move away from single-use culture. Then we have scenario B, which is the next slide, that targets downstream transformation driven by SDG 9, industry innovation and infrastructure. We envisioned a digitized recovery economy where AI computer vision systems at community hubs automatically sort Nestle plastics. And we have integration of these informal workers to call them green technicians, actually. Then the last image we have there will also show that. Then in summary, we are integrating 2 distinct paths. Scenario A reduces waste at the source through policy and
I have to stop you at this point. Group 4, I have to stop you at this point. You have exceeded your time.
Okay.
Thank you for your presentation.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for, you can stop sharing now. We'll move on to the last but not the least group, group 5.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Your time starts.
Okay, we are group 5 and our topic is reimagining bottled water packaging for a circular and resilient future. This project compares sustainability challenges and solutions between Singapore and Nigeria, focus on how bottled water plays very different roles in different contexts. Here's a quick overview of our presentation. We start with the context and then look at the problems and finally focus on solutions and what actually works. Access to safe drinking water is basically a human right, but not all regions have equal access. In Singapore, bottled water is mainly about convenience because tap water is already safe and accessible. But in Nigeria, especially rural areas, it is sometimes the only safe option. So the same product services very different purposes. For some people, it is a choice, but for others, it is survival. We focus on sustainability and packaging and look at different stakeholders like companies, governments, and communities. Our timeline covers past trends, current conditions, and future outlook up to 2030. Here are 3 main hidden problems. First, environmental. A huge plastic waste but very low recycling rates. Second, health. Under heat, plastic can release chemicals stored in proper handling. So overall, the issue is not just waste, it is also safety and infrastructure. We propose 3 main directions: innovate, improve materials and packaging design to make them safer and more sustainable, transform, upgrade logistics systems, recycling infrastructure, and filtering systems, empower, strengthen policies, regulations, and public awareness. These three together create a more resilient and circular system. We use STEEEP analysis to show this is not just an environmental issue. It involves social, economic, technological, and political factors as well. So any solutions has to consider all of these. From that, we identify key drivers like awareness, cost, technological, and regulation. Finally, we use 2+2 metrics to prioritize solutions. Some actions are easy and impactful, like improving storage and education. Others, like material innovation, have high impact but take longer. So the key is balancing short-term actions and long-term change. Let's welcome Mary to continue.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Mary Yomi, and I'll be continuing. We're looking at vision locally, globally, and nationally. Our local vision is to see that we ensure packaging used locally is heat resistant and minimizes chemical leaching. While globally, we are looking at promoting scientifically validated alternative. Nationally, we are also looking at aligning with the World Health Organization to see that we promote a healthy environment for individuals. Moving on. Next slide, please. All right, so we have a roadmap, which the ultimate goal is to redesign bottled water packaging system, whereby we see human health protected, we minimize environmental harm. We have a short-term, middle-term, and long-term roadmap for this journey. And we see that there are challenges that we can face, and we had highlighted them in my slide, and also we are looking at the contingency plan. The challenges we see that can happen is high cost of circular material and infrastructure, limited consumer awareness, and behavioral resistance. However, our contingency plan is to see that we use education campaigns to improve handling and storage behavior. We are also looking at encouraging adoption through tax relief, subsidies, and also CSR commitments. Moving on to my next slide. There are strategic actions that we're looking at achieving this desired outcome, which are transitioning from single-use plastic to bio-based or refillable containers where feasible. We also look at investing in community-level collection and recycling hubs. We're also looking to encourage public trust in treated public water systems to reduce unnecessary bottled water use. We have a robust plan for this. We're looking at safe material, we're looking at resilient delivery system, we're looking at compliance with safety standard, and also monitoring and improving. This is also to ensure that there's safe transportation and also safety in what we consume. Here is a pictorial representation of the system that are being used in Singapore, which more like their convenience stores, while in Nigeria, we see that some areas still use of this transportation for water for the community. And while this is the short-term solution that we have seen, which is the regular PET bottled water, and one of the implication of this is the exposure to sunlight, especially during transportation, which is not looking at our long-term solution, which is the biodegradable plastic. And I'll be talking about it in few slides from here. The primary base for these plastics are polylactic acid and also PHA. I'll be moving on to my next slide while where I
Your slides are
explain
not,
these
it's not
long
moving.
practices.
Okay, go ahead. You have just less than 2 minutes
Sorry
left.
about that. All right, so this is how we see that the UV resistance is going to be achieved. Looking at bio-based UV stabilizers, mineral fillers, and multi-layering. This would ensure that it is safely delivered and also it is healthy for consumption. This is a pictorial, a diagram, tabular representation of what the comparison of the standard PET and the biodegradable bottle that we are proposing. Because it is plant-based, its sustainability practice or degradable time is more than that of the standard PET. In conclusion, we are saying that there is a delicate engineering balance at play. However, if we make use of this biodegradable plastic, we are saying that the health of individuals are more likely to be preserved. We're also saying that they are at a lower risk of getting diseases that might come as a result of ultraviolet rays in this bottle. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 5. Thank you for your presentation. Well on time. Thank you. Thank you to all the groups and the group representatives that have presented. You have all done well. Thank you for representing your groups well. At this point, before we take questions and answers rising from the presentations, I just want to quickly recognize the head of department of the Department of Zoology, who would just give a very brief remark before we continue, because we're pressed for time. Professor Kehinde Kemabonta, please, would like you to give your remarks briefly at this point. Thank you.
Good morning and good afternoon, distinguished guests, program coordinators, Dr. Shogbamu and Dr. Bonsu, and our brilliant students from the University of Lagos and the University of Birmingham. It's a true pleasure to be here with you and to listen to all your deliberations and your beautiful presentations. In the Department of Zoology, we often study how organisms adapt to changing environments. Through the ACU VMEP program, we have seen our students adapt to a different kind of environment, a global digital one. This program may have been rooted in environmental awareness, but its true strengths lay in its diversity. Very, very interesting. Some people are in the afternoon, some are in the morning, some are in the evening. It's so beautiful. We saw students from zoology and fisheries collaborating with their peers from geography, business and administration, and finance all over the world. As we know, ecological challenges such as plastic pollution cannot be solved by biologists alone. They demand the special planning, expertise of geographers, the economic strategies of business leaders, and the foresight of financial analysts. The ACU VMEP collaboration has demonstrated that scientific inquiry and sustainable problem solving transcend disciplinary boundaries and ecological borders. Our students, as we have seen, have gained invaluable insights into strategic foresight and environmental consciousness. And I'm immensely proud of how they have represented the department, the faculty, and the university on this international stage. Kudos, guys. So proud of you. I look forward to seeing how these cross-cultural connections continue to influence their research, their professional outlook, and ultimately their contributions to building a more sustainable world. And I sincerely I still look forward to more of this kind of deliberations and cooperations. Thank you very much. So sorry, I didn't have the Zoom link, thus could not join you on time. And I didn't even know it was at 9 a.m. I thought it was 10. Thank you so much, guys. Proud of you all in Singapore and those of you in Nigeria and all over. Great job, Dr. Bonsu and Dr. Shobam. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Head of Department, Professor Kehinde Kemabonta, for that brief remarks. And we move on quickly to the question and answer session. And this time we would entertain questions for the groups, slight adjustment to our program timing. The time allotted to questions will no longer be 20 minutes. We'll now try to squeeze that in within 10 to 12 minutes and see how many questions we can take. So I'd like to make the floor open to Dr. Bonsu, Dr. Shugbamu, if you have questions for any of the groups at this time. And if any other person has questions, please just so indicate by a raise of digital hand and you'll be recognized. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks very much, Sola. So I don't have a question per se, but what I would like to say is to congratulate the students for their efforts. And I really enjoyed the presentations. You guys have shown a deep understanding of the topic, and especially when it comes to the frameworks useful in addressing some of these kind of real-world environmental sustainability challenges as part of the tools that you can apply when you go out there to make a real difference within our communities and businesses. I think, yeah, so like looking at it from group 1 to 2 to 3, 4, and 5, what I could see is that, yeah, you guys did very well, especially when it comes to cross-study kind of outlook. Exciting. And then we were able to kind of tease out the business as usual scenarios in a very nice way. Apply some kind of conceptual frameworks, which was quite good. For instance, looking at the STEEP analysis, stakeholders analysis, and then it's quite interesting that I couldn't see, was it group 4, when it comes to the application of the systems thinking, but all the same, I think we can have the chance to look at it later. And then I think the case study about group 2 in regards to the future of agriculture, I think it was quite good. And then I would advise you guys to kind of build on it, especially when it comes to the AI integrated model, looking at it from the desired future angle is something that we are much more interested in. And then looking at my notes in here, the sachet challenge case study 2 looks good. You guys have done really well in addressing some of these kind of challenges, especially when it comes to developing countries. And I think the bottled water for group 5 was quite good. So all in all, you guys have done really well within this short period of time, understanding the topic and then applying some of these concepts. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nana, and thank you very much to our VMEP participants. Can I invite you all to give yourselves a virtual round of applause? I must say that it's actually not the place to do the critical evaluation. Now, we did that a lot in the course of the training and the progress meetings and all that. So today is actually to celebrate you and how far you've come. Really with respect to, I mean, just like we mentioned earlier, University of Birmingham students are actually year 2 students in business and communication and all that. So you can imagine what year 2 students are doing. And our University of Lagos students are final year. I think one of them is a year 3 student. And so they're all really undergraduates and they're doing presentations like you're doing a boardroom presentations for a business. And so we're quite proud of you. Like Nana said, it was a very intensive and really short time. Perhaps if you had longer time and you were not coupling this with school probably would have been able to do better. But we're proud of you, and we celebrate you once again. The meeting today is really not about us and our comments, so we really want to hear feedback from the participants, because this is where we draw the curtains, at least for this initial or inaugural cohort. But we also want to hear from our guests that we have invited from all and sundry to comment about the presentations, but about the program, and essentially about this type of collaboration or mobility exchange. So I will draw the curtain here shortly. And Dr. Iwajomo, like I said, we can just merge the Q&A with the participants' feedback about the experiences in the project, so that we can still stay with time, because we must end this meeting at the top of the hour at 11 a.m. GMT. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. So while I look out for any questions, please, you can either send in your questions via the chat room or raise a digital hand. You will be recognized. I'd like to ask the participants to give give a feedback of their experience. So how has it been during this program? So I'd love to have each of you at least in a minute or so, just to tell us how has it been for you, this experience. So who wants to start? Just please raise your hand so I can, I expect everyone to have their hands, every participant to have their hands raised. Yes, I see Mary. Okay, I recognize you. Please go ahead very quickly.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Good day, everyone, once again. Firstly, I would like to appreciate the organizers of this particular program. For me, it's a really, really enlightening time working alongside students of Birmingham. It exposed me to how we can both work together in alignment, even if we are not together physically in a place. And it's also very impactful for me, because I did not only worked with these people, my group members in general, but I worked with almost everybody across this meeting, and I also really learned, and I have key takeouts from this opportunity to work with these people. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So please, as you give your feedback, what are your key takeaways from this training? Let's highlight that. Deborah, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. This program has really been an insightful. We got to learn many new concepts, and we also got to learn like about topics that we just knew at. I personally got to learn about topics I just knew at surface level. So I got a deeper understanding of what the SDG entails, and how to at least try to tackle problems, environmental problems, and it was really helpful. The collaborating with students from the University of Birmingham really facilitated it.
All right. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for the feedback. We move on to Prince.
Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. And can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I want to first thank the organizers, Dr. Nana and Dr. Timi, Dr. Shogamo. Also, I want to thank the Association of Commonwealth of Universities for this opportunity. So from what I learned from this thing, I was able to understand sustainability really well, in depth, and how to apply it to businesses, and then some analytical skills like the STEEP analysis, the stakeholder analysis, to scenario analysis, and all that. So also I was able to network with my Singapore counterparts, and also Nigerian students too. And my group were really really amazing. The something was very intensive. Yes, it was very collaborating too, because we're able to, working with when looking at what we had to do, our projects and all that, we're able to still do this. So I also thank our organizers for even making it very flexible for us. So we're able to do this within 4 months. Yeah. Also, my communication skills improved. And one important thing for me for this sustainability thing is also informed my decision in choosing my project topic. My project topic is on sustainability, and so I really aim to continue this sustainability part because it's something that's really evolving. So yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Prince. We'll take Jay Ying.
Okay, hi, thank you everyone for this opportunity. I think my biggest takeaway would be communicating across, different stakeholders and including my Nigerian counterparts, because especially with the time difference, I think that kind of give me a deeper insight in like maybe corporate world with MNCs, multinational companies, and working across different departments, how it will look like in the future. And I also thank you, Dr. Nana, for giving us the opportunity to refine our backcasting and all the scenario planning in a real world situation, because we always raise question in the classroom like, oh, how is this feasible? How is this doable? And we don't see it coming into real life, but being in this program, it kind of shows the possibility and also the chance to work with the Nigerian counterparts shows it. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Beulah.
Okay, good day, everyone. I am really grateful for the opportunity to be part of this program. And for me, my key takeaways was being able to connect responsible business with environmental sustainability. In my course of study, I am more focused on the environmental sustainability aspects. So I never really knew that, it can be applied to business wise. And, tying it together. It's really opened my mind to see that environmental sustainability also has to do with government policies and everything. Everybody needs to have a hand in, ensuring that our environment is sustainable for the future rather. So, it was really nice to get to work with my Singaporean counterparts. I never imagined that I would get to have an exchange program or be part of an exchange program in this format. It's really nice, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Beulah. Jada, over to you.
Okay, thank you. A big thank you, first of all, to the ACU for funding this project. And a very, very, very big thank you to our facilitators, Dr. Nana and Dr. Shogbamu. Thank you so much for your guidance and for your support. It truly has been an impactful time for me to not only work with people that I have never seen before, but we were able to collaborate and work seamlessly. Yes, there were some hiccups because of time difference, but it was just an amazing experience. Thank you also to my team members for being amazing and for just making sure that this was a reality. And my key takeaways would be that, yes, while I am a zoologist, I'm more focused on the environmental aspect, but I am now able to bridge the gap between business and sustainability. And yes, this has definitely helped me to refine what I want to do in future with my course of study. So again, a very big thank you and congratulations to all my colleagues as well.
Thank you. Let's move on to Favor.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'll say my key takeaways were understanding how soil degradation impacts real-world agricultural systems. I worked on the backcasting part of the project, and I was able to understand how to use backcasting to turn sustainability goals into actionable steps and appreciating the value of collaborating across different perspectives. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Grace?
Okay, good morning, good day to everyone, to the coordinators, to everyone present. So my special appreciation goes to my group member first. They were really wonderful. Even though we had our issues, we had our clashes and differences, but we were able to work through it and come up with something good. So I really appreciate them for that and their cooperation actually. So my key takeaway from this program is for the fact that working on the healthcare sector, I never looked deep into the healthcare sector because, okay, for instance, I'm a zoologist, even though I have knowledge about the healthcare sector, but I never envisioned what could have happened maybe later on, what is going on now, or so I never thought of that. But this program opened my eyes to so many aspects of the healthcare sector, both in Nigeria and in Singapore. It improved my reasoning and sense of thinking regarding the fact that it's not only solutions. We are not only designing solutions, but we are trying to bridge the gap between the knowledge that we have about the healthcare sector and what we can do to improve it in the long run. So I really appreciate the coordinators, Dr. Nana Bonsu and Dr. Shogam. Thank you so much for your guidance. Thank you so much for making this, putting this out for us to engage in and to be part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll move on to Ivory. Ivory, over to you. You're muted. Okay, perhaps having some network issues. All right, thank you for all the feedbacks. Is Ivory, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I want to say a big thank you to the ACU for funding this program, and thank you to Dr. Nana and Dr. Shubamo who have been with us throughout this journey. They have guided us in all that we've done. I also want to say thank you to my teammates. It's been wonderful working with them. So my key takeaway from this program is, as a business student, they would say a business aim is to make profit. But here in this program, we've learned that profit shouldn't just be the end goal. We should also consider the environment, the people that are in the environment, and all other factors. And this has taught me to always ensure that there's sustainability. Oh, would this product cause more harm to the environment, or it would make the environment better, offer a more viable solution in whatever business decision that I am going to be making? As someone who aims to be a future CEO, board director, member, I think this is a decision that would always ensure I ask myself that how does this affect the environment? Is it positively or negatively? So I always try to ensure that it's positively in the environment. So thank you. I have thoroughly enjoyed this program. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for all the feedbacks. I must say that I have also benefited from your presentations, particularly the future scenarios that you have painted out quite well, looking at possible solutions to many of these challenges that we have. And for me, that's a key takeaway for me. I have taken down some notes and hope that would also translate into providing solutions, being part of the solutions in the nearest future as we go on. So thank you very much. At this time, we would move on to the closing remarks and the vote of thanks. We have a bit of time so just about
Yeah.
10 minutes more. So I can't
Yeah.
find any hand up,
Okay.
so I'll just move on to the closing remarks.
Okay, sure. Okay. So first, let me thank the host, Dr. Solade, for this excellent moderation. Perfect. You made us stay on time, and I've got another meeting in 10 minutes. And then what I could see is that as we bring this session to a close, it's kind of worth reflecting on what this project demonstrates for the future, especially how to deliver and manage projects, policy and governance within the sustainability arena, and especially when it comes to managing conflicts when working in groups or with your colleagues. I could see that as you guys, you've experienced working in groups, there was some kind of conflicting. This one is doing this one doesn't want to work. And it's quite good to experience those kind of dynamics because that's what you're going to be experiencing in the real world scenarios anyway. And then this initiative also shows that relatively modest, but then when it comes to well-targeted funding, can generate significant educational, institutional, and policy relevant value. By enabling kind of structured kind of collaboration between these universities, we could see that the project has kind of supported meaningful knowledge exchange. It has also strengthened student kind of capability kind of development and embedded kind of sustainability and governance thinking in applied and policy relevant ways. It also highlighted the potential of virtual mobility as kind of a scalable and inclusive model for international education, which is quite good. One that complements when it comes to physical mobility while widening participation and then strengthening long-term institutional partnerships. So looking ahead, what I could see is that there's kind of a clear kind of scope to extend this work through future funding, deeper engagement with policy actors, and then when it comes to comparative kind of research that links student-led insight to kind of real-world sustainability transitions. So yeah, we hope that this project contributes to ongoing conversations around internationalization when it comes to capacity building and then policy relevant education. And we sincerely thank the Association of Commonwealth Universities for supporting an initiative that demonstrates that what impact-focused goal collaboration can achieve. So please make sure that you go to the LinkedIn page, comment, post, and then like it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bonsu. We want to appreciate once again, particularly the Association of Commonwealth Universities. One of the things that we did not have time to say when we started was that this project was actually approved 3 years ago. But we didn't get the funding because of a lot of back and forth. In fact, this program had been rested by the ACU. But through another project, we were able to call their attention to the program, and then we were able to get funding to make this possible. And one of the things we were told was that we may be the last group, but we're hoping that with the outcomes and the success of this program, we may not only marshal funding additional from the ACU, but perhaps from other funding organizations, and particularly in our universities, to institutionalize this kind of virtual mobility. And so we're really looking forward to take it from here. But we are encouraging our students as well, the inaugural cohort, to ensure that they tell the story and that they pay forward what they have learned in the course of this 4 months engagement. I just have a few slides to share with us to remind us of where we're coming from, and just to quickly share with us, and you can ascertain by yourself whether we've achieved what we set out to achieve at the beginning. Like we said, this was a one-of-a-kind of program. So far, we don't think we have seen any organization anywhere done this kind of program between the Global North and South on a virtual basis, entirely virtual. In fact, when I told my HOD, she was like, "Oh, so you mean our students are going to Singapore?" I said, "No, not yet." And I said that as a prophecy because it means that potentially in the future, we will move beyond beyond just virtual only to hopefully supporting the physical mobility as well. And so we want to appreciate the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, the Director, Research Management Office of the University of Lagos for their strong support in the program from ab initio. We thank the International Office, now the Office of Global Exchanges and Strategic Partnerships, but also the management of the University of Birmingham Business School. I know at some point in the course of the training, Nana was traveling between Singapore and the UK. And this was ditto with the students as well. So we were really working across time zones, and the Nigerian counterparts had to align as well. We thank the Dean Faculty of Life Sciences for his support in being part of this program. Jasmine has been our fund facilitator in the ACU, and so she supported us right from getting the offer, the contract, until now. So thanks a lot, Jasmine. She had to leave earlier. Thanks a lot to Dr. Iwajomo as well. It was just last minute that I invited him to kindly moderate the event. And we also had a program assistant. I don't think she's on the call at the moment because she needs to take care of some things that we're going to need to do after, but she's been very supportive. Toluwani Mishono, we thank her a lot. Now, so these are the things that we hope to achieve when we set out to do this program. And we hoped to enable our students to reimagine integrated environmental sustainability in businesses and communities. And I strongly believe that we can confirm that this has actually happened across the 5 groups of students that had both Singapore, the Birmingham and the UNILAG students. We also wanted to equip them with future-oriented leadership and problem-solving skills. And indeed, they at least from their feedback, you will hear they had a real foretaste about that. And even some other persons feeling that they are now well equipped to be CEOs and board advisors based on the skills that they have garnered from this 4 months program. We also wanted to strengthen their understanding and practical application of the SDGs. As you heard from the feedback from one of them, she didn't even know about the SDGs before now. And so far, she's now not only knowledgeable about it, but able to, deep dive into specific SDGs that relates to businesses and environmental sustainability. So maybe we should not mark ourselves, but you can mark whether we achieve that. And finally, we wanted to promote intercultural exchange and collaborations. And it goes without saying that we have achieved that. And this is what sustainability is all about. We're trying to utilize the resources that we have now so that when our students, or we call the now generation, are quite equipped, we can guarantee that our future will be all right. And it's for us to be able to support them in managing these resources responsibly. So a student who is in international business or in finance now understand that business is not just about profit making, but it's also about considering the environment. And a student who is also in the environmental sustainability space or a zoologist now know that when you're thinking about the environment, you also have to think about communities, you also have to think about businesses and how you can, bring everyone to a place where everyone's goals aligns on the same level. So participants, here is where we close the curtain. As you know, we engage you pre-training, mid-training. We now want to hear from you following this post-training. So like we said, you are going to receive certificates which are ready, but you must complete this survey first. So for those who have completed already, you'll be getting your e-copies of your certificates within the next 6 hours directly to your mail. And we want to encourage you all to try and complete this feedback today. And we know quite a number of our Singapore participants were not able to join the call because they were on internships. But please ensure that they complete the post-training assessment to be able to get their certificates. Congratulations, everyone. And this is the close call for me. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, so thank you very much, Dr. Shugbamu. Thank you, Dr. Nana Bonsu. Thank you, the participants and distinguished guests who have joined us on this program. It's been my pleasure to moderate this program, and like I did mention, it's been also a learning curve for me. I have learned quite a lot, particularly with respect to the future solutions to environmental problems and how integrating business and community issues and demands into future plans can make the world a better place. I'd say want to acknowledge that the University of Lagos is indeed proud to be part of this partnership, and we look forward to many more partnerships of this kind. This, I believe, is a big motivation for us to have many more partnerships, particularly virtual mobilities like this,